afternoon, vinyl community. How's it going today? Welcome back to the Vinyl Countdown. I'm Peaches, and this is episode 16, I believe. Wow, we're getting up there, aren't we? Yes. Oh, I am so glad you guys watched the last episode, man. I pulled out another cherry bomb guitar, and I was just super pumped. I'm really sorry if I got a little bit too excited on the last one. Yeah, the S's drive me nuts from the 80s metal collection. But today, we're going to take a little bit of a break from the alphabet on that 80s metal collection, and we're going to do a contest, okay? I want to enter a contest, and this contest is for the oral, I think it's oral retentive. Yeah, the oral retentive 100 subs contest. Man, I took a look at a few of these videos, and I saw the contest video, and I'm like, wow, this guy is a cool artist, man. Very cool artist. I love it when people show what they do for fun, excitement, what they do on the side, other than what they do for vinyl. You know what I'm saying? As well as being an artist, he's an artist. I'm an artist as well. You know, a story from way back when I was in 8th grade, I took private art lessons, and I was supposed to quit school. They wanted me to quit school to go to college in 8th grade for commercial art. So I had a lot of raw talent back then, like a lot of you other guys, and I don't know. I couldn't quit school, so I just kept with it and started exploring into other things, you know, like woodworking and, you know, drawing and photography and all kinds of different stuff. So I am one that really appreciates the art aspect of everybody that is in the vinyl community, for sure. Definitely stuff to watch. But this guy does like these really cool drawings with lyrics and vinyl records, and you just have to go check it out. Go visit his channel. It's the Oral Retentive. All right. So yeah, I want to enter this contest, and what I'm in it to win it. I am in it to win it today. I don't care if it's a drawing or drawn out of a hat. I'm going for it. I'm in it to win it because I'm super excited about it, okay? And I'm going to pull out every stop here. We are going to go all over the map today. All over the map for this contest. It's show one record, show a double record, show a triple, show a quad, and on, okay? I'm going to show 5 today, all right? I can only go up to 5. I'm not like some people out there that have like these boxes of 15 records in a box. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that many things for box sets. So, but I'm gonna go with it with equal energy, equal passion, and my deal is gonna be all over the map. I'm gonna show you stuff from everywhere. Okay, every genre, every time. All right. So, without further ado, let's do it. The Oral Retentive 100 Subs Contest. Now, if you guys checked out the rules of the competition, he wants a story behind every single one of these albums. And I'm going to do my best to tell a story behind them, all right? Let's start off with the first one. What a tough category. The first album, a single, okay? How are we going to do this when we have, a lot of us, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of albums, right? But I went back again to the tell us the story behind it part of it. And I thought, hey, what a perfect one to do. So my first record is an Elvis picture disc from way back in the day. This Elvis picture disc is quite a classic little deal here. I think it was made back in the 80s. And what it is it's I'll pull it out of the case. This is kind of neat. This is a picture disc that it's a documentary that tells you all about the life of Elvis Presley. It's one continuous story, front to back. And it is so awesome to listen to. I mean, you're getting a documentary and knowledge in a listening format of the birth of rock and roll, pretty much. The birth of it. You know, This was not a C-section. This was an all-natural deal here. You know what I'm saying? So, the reason why I'm showing you this today, I hope I'm not offending anybody by this story or anything. So just keep your ears on, okay? Bear with me. My wife and I and a coworker of hers were going to go out antiquing one day. So we decided to hit the highway like we always do, out and search for big time stuff in the wild, okay? So we end up out of town about an hour from here, from a place called Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Manitowoc, Wisconsin, you may be familiar with a story or a documentary that you saw on Netflix recently called The Making of a Murderer, okay? Which was all about a story of a murder case that happened in Wisconsin not too long ago that involved a guy named Stephen Avery, or Stephen Avery Auto Salvage, okay? When we went out looking around for antiques, we ended up about a few miles from this place where all of this happened. And it was kind of spooky for us. You know, it's just the nostalgia around here about things like that. And so that part of the story is really kind of crazy. And I'll just leave you with that, okay? Yeah, the Stephen Avery murder trials. You guys can look it up. Okay, so we're about a few miles from where this guy lived, right? And there's this place, something Barnes, some antique. It was just a barn full of junk, right? So we're going through this barn, and it's just an amazing amount of old stuff and antiques and things and all this. And we all kind of split up, and we were walking around, and there was this kind of a crazy guy there, and we didn't know who he was, and he kept talking to us, and the owners were gone, and he was showing us around the place, and it was a really uncomfortable situation, but he tried to assure us that everything was cool, everything was cool. And as if we were not spooked out enough from being down in this area, we were definitely getting spooked out by this guy. So he shows us around this whole place was barn full of antiques, old junk stuff. And I'm cruising through there on my own, looking around, digging around turning over every rock like we do. And there was no lights on. Like all you're relying on outside light and stuff. So me being pretty much at the end of my rope with my vision, had a really hard time in there. But I'm digging through this shelf full of magazines and stuff, and this pops up. I didn't know what it was. It was in a frame, in an album frame or a picture frame. You know what an album frame is like, right? And it was completely coated with dust, and the glass, it's like somebody hit it, and it was busted. All spiderweb busted all over the place, and I couldn't tell that this was in there. So I went in, and I just wiped my hand across the glass, and there his face was in there. And I'm like, I didn't even know what condition this was in. I knew it was a picture disc by looking at it because of the packaging and stuff inside this picture frame, but really hard to tell. Like I said, it was very dirty. So we went out and we bought some stuff from this guy. He was supposedly going to give the owners the money when they got back or whatever, but I didn't want to get into it. Okay, so I got this home. Longer story short. Okay, I got this home. I opened it up. Here, this thing was in. I pulled it out of the broken glass out of the frame, and I pulled it all out, and I cleaned it all off, and this came out of the back of the frame, and it was in mint condition. There was absolutely not a thing wrong with it. I mean, if you look at the packaging here, I mean, look at that. There's no yellowing. There's no stains. There's no nothing. It's just like the day you bought it. So, yeah, I ended up getting it for, I don't know, I think it was like $6 or $7. And the guy that was there didn't even know what it was. He just thought it was a old junky picture of Elvis. He didn't even know that it was a record. So, yeah, that's my single. Found it in an old barn, in a pile of magazines in a corner, with so much dust on it that you couldn't even tell what it was, in a broken glass picture frame. Totally cool picture disc album. All right. Yeah, and we skedaddled out of there because we were scared. It was just goosebumps. All right. I'm sorry if that took too long. My second album for the contest is the double. Okay, we're going to 2 records. And like I said, we're going to go all over the map today, okay, ladies and gentlemen? Five Finger Death Punch Purgatory. If you guys, I've been sticking with the 80s metal collection, but I'm telling you guys, I don't care if they're mainstream or not. I don't care what anybody calls them. Five Finger Death Punch loves my ears, and my ears love Five Finger Death Punch. These guys are kind of a military-based group. They do a lot of stuff with the military. They do a lot of stuff with real nasty feelings about things, too. But, oh, wow. Five Finger Death Punch. I just, for new metal, I don't know if you guys would put it in a genre or whatever. I call it metal because I'm old-fashioned. I don't know if you guys call it new metal or what. But what an album. And not only is it a double album, it is a double picture disc album. So we have, right here, double picture disc to match the front of the album cover. And I'll pull one of these out in the MoFis. I put these in MoFis right away. I found this used at a record store. There's a front, and there's the front of the album. This is so beautiful. People talk about quality issues with picture discs and stuff, and I don't own a lot of them. But when I saw this, and me being somebody that and I tell you, I do not see this stuff on the vinyl community at all. Five Finger Death Punch. I'm a big fan. I don't sleep with them, but I'm a big fan. Definitely. We'll just pull the other one out here for you. But I couldn't think of anything more exciting to show. See if I can keep my fingers off of these. Anything more exciting to show for a double album that I could get you guys from Elvis to right out the back door right now kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Five Finger Death Punch Purgatory. This has got a ton of awesome modern, I don't know what you guys want to put it in for a category. Like I said, modern metal, mainstream modern metal, whatever. But it's got a ton of good stuff on it. Excuse my vision. It's got that remake from Bad Company. The other thing I want to mention to you, the obvious part of this is a live album. It's 100% live through and through, 4 sides. And for a live album, I'm telling you, it's got that, the remake of Bad Company. Yeah, you guys know which one I'm talking about. Never Enough. War is the Answer. I Remember Everything. What a great song. No One Gets Left Behind. Another awesome song. I mean, I'm telling you, this thing is full. Let me see if I can get you up a song list right here. And you can pause it if you want. What an album to have, though. Five Finger Death Punch. I never see him in the wild. And I see him in the wild a little bit. Mostly new. But I never see these guys on the vinyl community ever. Ever. All right, so there's my number 2. Let me be super careful, all right? Careful, piachas, careful. All right, let me grab a sip here, too. All right, let's move on to the 3 album part of the contest, all right? Oh, and the story behind this? I don't really have one. I don't really have a big one. We found this used in a record store on the shelf, and I walked in the door, and I didn't hesitate one bit. And I put this masking tape on here because I can't see where it's labeled per side. So I had to do something to identify it because of my bad vision. All right. Definitely. But yeah, not a big story. I think they tell their own story very well. I think they tell the story about the military and how brave people are in this country. And that's a fact, Jack. All right, number 3 for the contest. I was at estate sale with Mrs. Peaches. By the way, we consulted about this last night, and we thought we were going to do a pretty good job at this. So we finally came to a compromise. But anyways, we went to an estate sale, and estate sales can be hit and miss. And you know, we always try to tell you guys about pounding the pavement and going out in the wild. And I had on an earlier episode, I had a double album of Buddy Holly's greatest hits or whatever. And this was the one of the other ones I found at this estate sale as well. And it is, let me see if I can get the name right here. I'm going to show you guys in the package with the hype sticker. This is a triple, like a silver edition of Frank Sinatra. Okay, we're going all over the map, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. And here's it had the hype sticker on it, and it was still in the cellophane. And I took the hype sticker off, and I put it right inside a new sleeve, featuring the theme from New York, New York. And that, I have to tell you, is probably the only song I love over and over again from Frank Sinatra is the New York song. Definitely, you guys know what it is. This is called the Sinatra Trilogy. And I'm telling you, I picked this out of there, and I'm not from that era, and I don't listen to a lot of that stuff. But I'm telling you, I could not pass this up for once again, Peaches and his $2 again. Yup, $2 at this estate sale, and this is a triple album. And the other thing that's really neat about it is that it's not a gatefold, and all the silver. You know when people show silver albums, that the silver foily part is all screwed up on them? Not around the edges of this one. It's like the day you bought it. There's the back. It's a triple album, and it's not a gatefold. It's just a single sleeve. So then you pull it out, and you got, here, let me flip this around. You got 3 records in there. And I'm telling you, these inners are like an album cover. They're super thick, and they're in Minto shape. Minto shape. So you pull these 3 out of here, and this is what you get. 3 inner covers that are like outer covers. They're super thick. They're like a 12-inch single cover, if you guys know what I'm talking about. And then you take one of these and you pull it out, and there's another inner inside of that inner. So the packaging on this thing is just ridiculous. And then you read stuff about Frank Sinatra. And I'm telling you, it's like nobody ever listened to it. This thing is so mint. It's like nobody ever touched it. 3 great. You know, my wife and I threw it on one night, and I'm telling you, like I said, I'm not from that era, but wow, what an awesome thing to listen to. I mean, we sat there and listened to it for like 2 hours. You know, it's like, start spreading the news, I'm living today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. Yeah, you remember when they had that movie Starman? And the alien, or the Jeff Bridges or whatever his name was, when he was singing that song in the car? From Starman, the movie, yeah. So yeah, we got 3 of these albums from Frank Sinatra with the cover, the inners, and the inner inners. What an awesome, awesome record. Just, it's probably one of the more beautiful ones I have in the collection. And the story behind that, once again, it's pounding the pavement, going to estate sales, picking out some really awesome stuff. And along with this, we got a couple of other really nice ones. I got a Survivor album that was still in the shrink, and we got Air Supply's Greatest Hits that was still in the shrink. They both had the hype stickers with this one, and it couldn't have been a better day out in the wild. So another out in the wild story for my triple album for the contest. All right. Now that we've explored a little bit of beat all over the place, let's go to another one. Do you guys remember seeing this one in the store recently? The Prince Forever box set. We saw this in the store like 1.8 million times. And every time my wife walked up to it, she's like, honey, I want to get that one. I want it. I want it. And I'm like, let's just wait for it to go on sale. Let's just wait. And finally, one day after seeing it, like I said, 1.8 million times, we grabbed it. They dropped the price like $5 on it. Prince Forever. You know, this is, you know, rest in peace, Prince. And this is something that came out after, you know, his unfortunate passing. And it has got a megaton of awesome songs from all of his albums. Okay, so you open up the box set. See a little bubble wrap in there in case you get nervous. And then on the inside, there are 4 records. Okay, and on top of those records, there are a whole bunch of 12 by 12 photos of Prince. And then we can look at, there's another one. And then we'll set that one down. And there's another one. Some great photos, great wall art. If you ever wanted to put this stuff up on your wall, if you're a huge Prince fan. Hello, Denmark. You know who you are. There's another one. And there's another one. And then you flip it over, and then you got all kinds of stuff on the back. Talks about the songs, performances. Definitely. So then you get through all those cool 12 by 12 you know, photos that come in the box, and then you come to these lined inners, just some plain lined inners. And then there are 4, I'm not going to pull all of them out, but there are 4 identical albums that have these custom Prince Forever labels on them. And I'm telling you, if you guys ever get a chance, pick this up. If you're a Prince fan, it's got a ton of hits on it. If you guys don't know this by now, the story is, I fell in love with Prince. I fell in love with Prince the day that he came out. Okay? When I was a little kid, I was in grade school. I believe it was somewhere around the 5th or 6th grade time. And this was a time when you could go out and, I don't know if you guys remember this. You could go out and rent VCRs. And you'd go to this special store, this movie rental store, and you could rent a VCR, and it came in a cloth bag. And you could take that home with you and pick out a bunch of VCR tapes. You know what I'm saying? And right when this place opened up, we got, whoops, dropped something there. We got access to the store. So mom and dad would take us down there, and we would rent movies. And one of the first movies that we rented was Purple Rain. Yes. So we got home and I'm like, oh, I want to watch this. And I didn't know who Prince was at all. You know, I didn't know who he was at all. So we put this movie Purple Rain in, and it changed my life. I am serious. I'm like, I was listening to Quiet Riot and Rat and Def Leppard, Pyromania and all this stuff. And there was nothing else like it. Okay? Nobody made a rock movie. Nobody made a music movie. You know, this was not a musical. This was something completely different. And I don't know if any of you guys remember seeing Purple Rain way back in the day, but I'm telling you, it was a masterpiece. Not only did it have the crappiest acting on the planet, but I'm telling you, every single part of that movie was just, it's hard to even develop a thought about it anymore. But I've seen it 1.25 million times. And another part of the story is that I was so obsessed with Prince after seeing that movie, I went out and picked up the album right away. I listened to it front and back forever and ever. I wore it out. The original copy's on my wall right now that I got when I was like 11 years old or whatever it was, 10 or 11 years old. But I was so obsessed with Prince that we didn't live far away from him. I grew up in Minnesota on the Mississippi River, a short distance from there. It wasn't too far of a drive. So my mom and her friend took me to Prince's house. Yes. They took me, this was before Paisley Park was built. This is what he had going on before that. Okay, this was like after Purple Rain came out. He had some place out in the country, and I remember seeing like a windmill there for some reason. You know, my memories aren't exactly 100% there, but I remember my mom and her friend taking me to the front gate of his house, and I think there was some kind of like a little guard hut there or something. I don't remember all the details, but I remember going up to his driveway, and the gate was right there, and I'm sure there was a ton of security, and I was just flabbergasted the whole time. I'm just like right by the vehicle, you know, and I'm like, oh, this is Prince's house, you know, and there was no way in heck I was ever going to meet him, but, you know, yeah, my mom's friend, she had her friend did the lighting for Prince, and they thought that she might be able to get me these backstage passes and all that stuff, but it never turned out. And I was kind of young for being around Prince at the time, so, you know what I'm saying? It probably wasn't a great idea because of his reputation or whatever, you know. So yeah, but that's the story behind that. You know, I love Prince, and that's our number 4, definitely. All right, and our number 5, this one's gonna be from Mrs. Peaches. Mrs. Peaches from the Vinyl Countdown that could not be here with us at this time. All right, but I'm hoping to get her back on here. I think I got her talked into it. All right, but yeah. Here's our number 5. We don't have any albums that go up to 5, but we do have a CD box set that goes up to 5. And this one is called Box of Pearls. Yeah, Janis Joplin, Box of Pearls. We are all over the map today. Definitely. And it's just this cool little funky 60s looking box set of all the stuff from Janis Joplin. And then her band. And if you open up the top here, you look inside, and there's right on the front, there's Cheap Thrills. Definitely. Then you go through, and there's another one on there. Big Brother and the Holding Company. These are all, hey, Vinyl Victim's niece, you need this box set. Definitely need this box set. And we're going to do a whole special about Janis Joplin pretty soon, okay? So, but you definitely need something like this. There's another one. That's Pearl by Janis Joplin. That's the one you just picked up, and you loved it, right? Yeah, Vinyl Victim's niece. Go out and check out her channel. She's got a lot of enthusiasm. She's just getting into this stuff. There's another one. Janis Joplin. We have all the originals, too, on vinyl. And then there's another one right there. And the story about that, Janis Joplin, my wife loves Janis Joplin. End of story. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, she is a Janis Joplin freak. So, definitely. So there is our... You know, I don't really have a story for Janis Joplin because I didn't hang out with her, and I don't really, you know, she was a different era. But my wife loves her. I love her. I think she is probably one of the most talented singers that ever lived. And I think the big reason why she was like that was because I don't think there has ever been another singer that wore their heart on their sleeve as much as she did. Everything that could come from a person's heart, from the inside of their gullet or whatever, came out of her mouth, and all it spelled was I'm lonely, and I want you to love me. And that's all you could ever ask for, right? But yeah, number 5, Janis Joplin, Oop. Janis Joplin, Box of Pearls. Definitely get your hands on this one. All right. Well, that concludes my entry for the Oral Retentive 100 subs contest. And once again, congratulations, man. I'm hoping someday to get to 100 subs, and I can't wait. It's a monumental thing for you. And keep up the good work on the art. That Prince one was awesome. And the Marilyn Manson one. I want to get my hands on it. All right. Well, thanks for joining me again on another episode of the Vinyl Countdown. I'm Peaches, and you guys have a great night.